Hello, I'm Duke Robillard, and welcome to my Hot Licks video. I'm going to start off here by giving you an E to tune up to. I'm going to play some T-Bone Walker style guitar here and demonstrate some things about his playing and what the basic subtleties and chords and riffs and rhythmic things that comprise his style. T-Bone being the father of electric blues guitar, and in a way you could even say the father of electric guitar in general in some sense, and definitely influenced all rock and roll and blues players, whether they know it or not. His style definitely was the root of rock and roll and blues playing from the beginning. So what I just played was the intro to Stormy Monday, being just ninth chords, T-Bone style being based on the ninth chord. The original Stormy Monday started with, in the key of G, would start with an E flat 9 with the 5 on the bottom. T-Bone always used the 5 on the bottom like that and would play. To the first position 9 chord. And he would roll the pick across the strings to get that sound. Always using ninth chords here. And then the famous that being just the ninth chord that's moved back and up a half step. To a sharp 4 chord. That was his big signature lick on the 5 change. One thing I want to explain is that on this style blues from this era, it was rare that you would go from the 5 to the 4 chord. You normally would either play a 2-5 change, being A minor 7 to a D9, or you would play a sharp 5, being E flat to a D. So T-Bone would go to the 5 by starting on the E flat and playing again that ninth chord with the 5 on the bottom. Let's see. So he would play from in the ninth position with the start from the E string, the 5, and the D and the G. That was a predominant sound on his slow blues. It was kind of a trademark. And also, as I said, the Stormy Monday thing, he would have different ways to play that rhythm. Or things like taking that 9 and just fretting over the E string so you could get that root on the top for the accent. He had a lot of ways of doing that, and what I just did was syncopated, basically with a double time feel. And this is where we would talk about syncopation, which was a big part, double timing and syncopation of T-Bone's style. He was sophisticated, very sophisticated rhythmically. And harmonically for a blues guitar player, especially at that time, he also was, relying a lot on sixths and ninths in his soloing. And he would double time, say on a slow blues. Now that familiar sound that Chuck Berry years later made so famous and turned into his basic trademark lick in rock and roll is something that T-Bone started and got from sax players like Lester Young, I believe, who would make that sound of playing something like we're playing the 5 here in G, we're playing the D, bending the G string from C up to D. In different kind of rhythmic intervals here. Also, besides bending it, he would slide it up. T-Bone, like Charlie Christian, I described this once in an interview for a T-Bone Walker book. I think Charlie Christian and T-Bone had this sense of putting certain notes in a place that you wouldn't normally expect them. They would be like you would expect in a different place than the change to hear that flat third or that sixth. They had a way of making your ears perk up and saying, oh, that's different, although it's a completely familiar sound. Rhythmically, the way they would play it, like Charlie Christian, like well, I'm playing T-Bone here. I'm stuck on T-Bone, but anyway, the essence of that style is the rhythmic and melodic use he makes of the guitar there with now this is all slow blues, double time. Now, I showed you one T-Bone intro. Another one of the famous ones is where he will go down in whole tones from the G till he gets to the last change, and then go down a half step. The G9 arpeggio to F9 arpeggio to E flat 9 to D, and then That's a good example of the T-bone sound. Also, he would pick in various places. He would pick up here and then move back by the bridge to make a real radical kind of emotional change in the sound. Now for a little example of his up-tempo playing. We'll switch to B flat here. This is maybe a sound kind of like what he would do on a shuffle rhythm. Remember his phrasing, he's using a lot ninths and sixths there, along with sevenths, and doing that 5 to the 5. Also, there's in the swing style playing and T-bone, there's also a lot of use of the flat third, the 4, and the third, like. A lot of interplay right there, playing like. A lot of working in that, the third against the 5 or the root with flat third and 4. Okay, that's an example of that. Also, there was something I played in there, and it's basically off a diminished chord here, where he would bend it up so it would be almost back up to the root, to a B flat, if you played a B flat like this. One step back, playing the diminished, and or on a slow blues, he might go. And that's the T-bone Walker style. Right here I'm going to describe and demonstrate some of the jazz guitarist styles that influenced me in blues playing. Kind of 40s style jazz that is very blues based. All the early jazz guitarists were very blues based, people like Charlie Christian and Tiny Grimes and Oscar Moore. Always played quite a bit of blues and phrased very blues oriented. So I'm going to play a little bit of swing in a melodic style based on the early jazz guitarist. Charlie Christian's style was very melodic, and he made use of sixths and ninths a lot in his soloing. A lot of his playing was just based on major scales. That was kind of a combination of a lot of things, really. T-Bone, Tiny Grimes, and Charlie Christian. But like I said, using the ninth and the sixth an awful lot in blues makes for a very melodic sound, and combined with swing phrasing and rhythm is a very attractive sound. And in this style, you use a lot of passing tones. Like you might use a sharp 5 a lot. Play on the 6th. Flat that 6th, leading to the 4 chord. And another thing you might do in that style would be go from the 9 to a flat 9 to the 1 here. So basically in the key of C, D, D flat, C. And again, as I said before, the T-Bone progression where he would stay on the 5 or play a 2-5 change. In this style of playing, you can make a much more melodic solo by playing on the 2-5 change, like instead of playing the 5 to the 4 change. The 2-5 change lends itself to much more melodic phrasing. And a lot of that feel in jazz swing style playing is having that riff bass. It's hard to explain exactly what makes that feel, but a lot of the parts in songs by people like Count Basie from the 30s would be based on repeated riffs like that a horn section might play. And I base a lot of my style on stringing these kind of riffs together and just making a melody out of it. And that really goes for a long way towards making a solo sound melodic. If you listen to a lot of that style, I really developed my style from listening more than practicing, actually, which I probably shouldn't say, but I spent many, many hours every day listening to the music that I loved when I was learning every phase of this music. And especially in jazz, listening to players, for me, like Johnny Hodges, Lester Young, Ben Webster, and piano players like Duke Ellington and Count Basie and Fats Waller. All of those people had a very big influence on the way I phrase my personal playing. And one thing I want to mention that's inherent in my style is that I developed, I don't really know how many other guitar players do this sort of thing, but I slur a lot. You'll find a lot of modern guitar players and a lot of jazz guitarists, and today rock guitarists are very accurate, and they practice scales a lot. And that's one approach. But my style is based more on playing a melody and slurring the notes so they flow together, and that's what makes my playing swing in the way it does, is that I might, things like this, pull-offs and slurs. Like, I'll give you an example. There's a tune on my swing album called Jim Jam, and the head is basically a slurred kind of blues swing riff. I'll do things like that, and it's a combination of trying to make a horn phrasing and also piano, where a pianist can, the way he can roll the chords, like. That's a lot of what I do to make my playing swing, and it's not the accurate on-the-money scale kind of playing, but it's a certain sound and that works well in that style of music, and it lends itself to blues playing very well. And I've found ways to sneak it into even a little bit into my rock and roll playing. I'd like to demonstrate maybe how Les Paul had a bit of an influence in my playing here. I love Les's playing very much, and he's very melodic also, and that's had an influence on me. And one thing I like about Les is his use of chromatic riffs. He'll take, and that can be used in blues, in a swing style blues, very effectively, like. All these type of riffs where you might take the third in the key of G. You would take the third here, which would be B, and just go back to the G from the B, like. And maybe you do the seventh down to the 5 that way. Let's see. Another thing with chords, Les's use of, I'll do it without the delay first, so you can hear the sound of it, using this form of a G, which really would be an E minor. You can do something where you pull off that E string, the B, use a D, and you can flat that third by going back to B flat. And if you put a little delay on it, where is it now? That's a cool effect. And also using this second position G here, You can also, again, flat that third. You can do some pretty cool things with that are very swing-based and kind of horn riff oriented. That type of thing, or another thing I do often in this type of vein with chords is using 13th chords and just move them all over the place, like. That would be similar to what Count Basie might do with a horn section part, using the whole entire horn section, playing these fat 13th chords and just moving them around wherever your melody would be, a bluesy melody, basically based on a pentatonic scale. On your E string. Then flatting that 6 to make it a sharp 5 chord going to your 4. That's a neat little trick that I do. Right here I'm going to demonstrate some playing from a tune called I Think You Know from my Turn It Around album. It's a good example of blues lead guitar, the style I play in a Chicago-based sound, and I'm combining a lot of influences of a lot of the contemporary Chicago blues guitarists, a lot of the classic blues guitarists, people like Hubert Sumlin, Otis Rush, Buddy Guy, and Albert King, and everything kind of thrown in together here to be my thing. So I'll just play a little bit of that and explain some of what I'm doing here and some of this stuff. Okay, I'm going to try to explain some of what I'm doing here. This is based on this type of riff blues. And it's basically your conventional style blues phrasing here, with a lot of tremolo used in there. Often I'll play this with my fingers instead of a pick to get a certain sound with the out of phase strat sound. It has a nice tone. One thing I like to do in this style is do these fast flurry of notes that kind of like Robert Jr. Lockwood and Luther Tucker are two of the people that I can think of that did this type of thing first. that gives it a real emotional kind of spastic sound, like this type of thing. Basically, that's just kind of using the pentatonic scale and just, you know, scratching the strings kind of as fast as you can. It's not necessarily a time thing. It's more like just a feel and a sound. Another example yet of my undefined, kind of unorthodox style here of playing. One thing I do within that solo that might be of interest to guitar players, and I don't have a chorus here, but what I do a section where I will play something based on maybe what an organist might do as a chord solo, using a chorus with the speed turned all the way up, or you know, a Leslie guitar cabinet would have the same effect, kind of an organ sound, where I'll use these. I'll use these ninth chords here in G. We use suspend the fourth here, like. What I'm doing is the sus4 to the 9 here, and then doing the 5 and the 3rd together with my pick and my middle finger here. It's kind of like piano phrasing. Now in C. There I'm playing the root and the 4 to the 3rd, like another kind of sus4 sound. It's very much like piano phrasing. And then, which is your basic 4-1 change. And I roll the pick so I get the effect of a piano rolling the keys with that sus4 3rd and root here. That, of course, being your sharp 9 chord with a B flat on the top. And that's also a song where I'll do that thing I talked about earlier, as the 13th chords being moved around with using the root in a pentatonic scale, like a horn section, like a bassy horn section, like. Another thing I wanted to talk about is the use of chord fragments, or I guess they call them double stops, where you use 2 notes in a chord and sometimes 3. A really nice sound is Using the 5 and the 3rd here, where you roll it like that, start a fret before, and then up to the 4 here using the G string and the B string. Then you can do things like you take the top of this G formation here, the top 2 strings, so you're sliding the root back to the 7th. Something like, you might get a sound like. Now, what I did there is when I get to the 4, I basically just used your C9 formation here, starting here, 2 strings at a time, the A string and the D string, then the D string and the G string, 2 frets apart, then the G string and the B string. So you're just going all over the chord with it and building it up harmonically. There, I'm just doing the same roll, then going to your 7th here. I also do things like slide chords around. It just like creates that swing that I was talking about earlier, as how I apply that to blues playing and stuff that basically came out of jazz phrasing that works so well in blues. Right now I'm going to give an example of some of the Texas and one New Orleans guitarists that I think were very innovative, and a little sampling of their styles and how that's kind of influenced the overall Texas blues sound. And then I'm going to demonstrate how I apply that playing to different forms, like how I use it in rock and roll. People like Guitar Slim had a very almost gospelish kind of feel and a very intense attack on his playing. And I'll play a little bit of maybe something like the things I used to do to show you. Slim had a real gut bucket sound, and it really he was kind of a forerunner of that really raw sound that became popular later. Also, people like Johnny Guitar Watson and Gatemouth Brown. Gatemouth having a kind of more refined style that it came from the kind of sophisticated rhythmic and melodic style of T-Bone Walker, but also with a real gutsy sound similar to Guitar Slim. He would do a lot of that Chuck Berry type. He might play in a slow blues. So kind of similar stuff, using that five, the 5 to the 5 on the G string and the B string. That T-Bone used. Johnny Watson played a similar style in the 50s, where he did a lot of flutters of fast flurries of notes that were real energetic and emotional, something like. That would be kind of an example of that sound. I've taken those styles and kind of used them in my own way in blues, but I feel the most creative way I've taken that sound and used it is in rock and roll. A lot of tunes of mine, things like If This Is Love from my first album, and the most recent thing, Twisted a Knife from the Thunderbirds' Walk That Walk, Talk That Talk album. I tried to incorporate that kind of guitar style in it. Let's see if I can get a groove going here. That would be the basic groove, and the guitar solo I might go like. And that kind of phrasing, that kind of tight staccato sound and distorted type sound that I use there, and type of melodic playing is straight from that original Texas blues guitar style and Guitar Slim style. And I applied that to rock and roll and came up with my own sound there. Another thing I would like to demonstrate, seeing I'm in the key of G flat, which is a key I like, and I want to just explain a few things that are neat for guitar players. It has a really cool open sound, and you can use, if you're playing rock and roll, you can use the open A and the open E a lot in that style, in the key of F sharp. And I've got a tune on the T-Birds album called Born to Love You, where I make use of the F sharp 7th by, instead of making the 7th with my little finger here, I just play the root, the 3rd, the 5. I let the 7 ring the open E string. And it creates a different sound than hitting the chord this way. It's just something about it. And I've come up with riffs and patterns that make use of that F sharp with this open 7th on the E string. like Born to Love You, which goes. Which it has a very interesting sound. So enough for F sharp anyway. Another thing that's a big part of my style is the use of the tremolo arm. I started playing guitar when I was very young, and it was in the late 50s. And I was influenced by all the guitarists like of the day, like Duane Eddy and Link Ray and Lonnie Mack. And when I first heard the first blues I ever heard, people like Hubert Sumlin with Howlin' Wolf and Muddy Waters, and when they were making a shake, a vibrato, I thought they were using a tremolo bar because I had extremely heavy strings with a wound G, and I just didn't see how you could make that crying kind of sound that like Hubert Sumlin would make on Going Down Slow with Howlin' Wolf. So I learned to mimic it with the tremolo, and or the kind of vibrato that Otis Rush has that sounds like a voice that personally I've never been able to duplicate. So I have a combination of using finger vibrato and the tremolo arm, and not that many people in blues use that, but I think it's something you can make use of, and different type vibratos you can make with it. Today it's used for very different things. Originally it was used for things like Hawaiian guitar effects, which it still is a great thing for chords. And my version of a tune called Rockin' Blues, I use it behind the vocal in the chords. And it helps sustain them. And when you play it in a trio, that can be very important to have the chord sustain through. I also use it to bend chords up or chord fragments. Kind of make a kind of drunken sound, I guess you could call it, kind of wavering, kind of bluesy feel. I'm going to demonstrate here some guitar jazz type chords in blues. One thing I want to start off with is on a turnaround here, and if we're playing in the key of B flat, also I'd like to introduce for blues guitar players who might not have used this chord, it's okay to use this in blues sometimes. That's a major 6 chord, which I like to use in blues. Not many people do, but there is a place for it. But what I want to talk about here is doing this little climb down to a turnaround that's similar to the T-Bone Walker thing, where you're playing. This is really just a straight B flat, with the D on the bottom, then a B flat here with your first finger, and the it's out of tune, but the F there, and then just moving this down as if you're playing an F sharp 9 with the 5 on the bottom. So that could be used as an introduction, or just as opposed to using just minor 7th chords all the way down, which is really a totally different thing. You have to play in the minor 7th if you do that. But if you use that, you just continue to play on the 2-5 changes, and it's a nice sound. I'll play a little bit of blues here, 4/4 style. Demonstrate the changes here. You can put diminished in here quick. So that 5, that B flat, F sharp. Then you can do a 2-5 change. Now, in playing swing type rhythm, Freddie Green style, or a lot of those players that did that in the 40s, they often, and especially Freddie, would play just 2 or 3 strings at a time, not playing the full chord, but making the D and the G string the prominent strings when he's playing first position chords, and kind of following the bass line, like that's using a 1 diminished 2-5 turnaround there, which is kind of odd for blues, but it works in that style of blues. They played these things kind of more melodic in the 40s, and that sound is something missing from jazz pretty much today, that chomp 4/4 rhythm, but it really connected the bass and the hi-hat and made for a really rhythmic, forceful sound in jazz in the early days. And as far as other chords you can use here in blues, like I was saying, use the 13th. One thing I like to do is do the sharp 5 from the 6th chord here, 13th. To your 4, that kind of substitutes a little more sophisticated way of doing the sharp 4/4. Or you could put the 9th on top and then just move the 6th down to a sharp 5. That's very melodic and pretty. Or you could move them both down, which in essence you're just playing a sharp 4 to the 4. So. And of course you can use a 6th in there too before you go to the 2 and the 5, like. is a very standard turnaround that works in blues and is used in jazz constantly. The D minor to a G. You can use a sharp 9 to a flat 9, to a C minor to an F, sharp 9, flat 9. Makes a great intro. And now I'd like to just play something for you. A tune I get from Les Paul. It's a very popular tune from the 30s. It was popular. It's popular with me. And just incorporate some of the things that I've shown you, called I'm Confessing That I Love You. Some of the chromatic type riffs that Les Paul does, and also some of the picking techniques where you get a brighter sound. I'm going to use a little delay on this for that effect. This is for you, Les. That incorporated a lot of the things that I've talked about on the jazz side in this lesson, with chords and picking techniques and chromatic runs. And Les always was ahead of his time for guitar techniques, and used a lot of techniques that only blues players used. People like T-Bone Walker, he would employ some of that type of technique in his style before any other jazz player did it. I think in those days maybe it was something that jazz players didn't do, but Les Paul broke all boundaries, as we all know here. I'd like to thank you for tuning in here, and I hope you enjoy this, and I hope it works out for you and you get something out of it. I've certainly enjoyed doing it. And I'm going to close here with a tune from my swing album, and I'll just point out a few things I'm going to do in here that I didn't explain or do earlier, so you can have another example of my style of playing or something to pick up. And I'm going to be playing the intro to this tune. It's a big band tune, Big Band Blues by Jay McShann, called the Jumpin' Blues. And I'm going to basically play the melody with chords here. And you might notice in between some of it, I do this segment of 6 chords where I make this sound that is supposed to be the trombones and trumpets fanning the bell of the horns for this ooh-wah sound here. So this is kind of a natural way to do that without using something like a wah-wah pedal here. Only kidding.